What's going on, guys? Fun with Knives back. Took a little break, had a vacation, so sorry guys if you've been staying tuned for new videos. I took about a week off. But I'm back with this CRKT Crawford Kasper Folder. Now this is a very budget option, one that I was kind of excited to pick up. It was just kind of an add-on or item for me when I was ordering another knife, and I was like, 20 bucks, why not? And I'm kind of gonna go against my rule here where I usually use all my knives, fairly extensively before I do any reviews on them. I carry them around a lot, and I didn't do this with this knife because it just doesn't fit my lifestyle. I really don't like it that much, but I wanted to review it, tell you guys what I think it was good at and bad at. So just keep that in mind, guys. I don't have a ton of use with this knife. I just know how it feels in the pocket. I carry it around, a little bit, but I'm going to sell it to my friend after this video, so let's get into this thing. We have a 3.75 inch blade, a closed length of 5.375, and an overall length of 9.25 inches. So a big knife by all standards, just tons of room, tons of reach. And the weight on this thing is 7 ounces, so pretty heavy. I'm not a huge weight guy. I used to be a little bit, but if there's ability with the weight, I'm okay. So if a 7-ounce knife like this can perform twice as many tasks as my 3.5-ounce folder, then I'm okay with it. But, this is a little cumbersome to be carrying around every day. So keep that in mind, guys. If you're looking to purchase one of these are 7 ounces. So that brings us to this blade, which I absolutely love. I love this blade shape. It's just kind of a modified clip point. Crawford Kasper written here, the two designers. It's got an awesome swedge. You see where the light's hitting there. Just a really good looking blade. It's fairly thin. It's a decent slicer, a decent piercer. You get the best of both worlds here. And then it's got a black oxide coating over its 8CR14 MOV steel. So we've all heard of that steel before, I'm sure. The patent number is just on this side. So I love the blade shape. I think it's very utility based. It can perform a variety of functions very well. So I have no quarrels with the blade shape whatsoever. This is a manual opening knife with 2 ambidextrous thumb studs. Very easy to access. The knife is fairly smooth. I usually give it a little bit of a wrist flick because I think we're just riding on some sort of, bushings here. Yep, Teflon washers. So the knife is fairly smooth. I think just because it's larger, the blade kind of wants to come out. I don't think the detent is too great on this knife. You can shake it out very easily. Had to do that off camera so I didn't bump the desk. But the deployment methods doesn't really bother me. With a knife this big, I don't think you're going to be using it, on tiny little tasks where you need your knife out fast or whatever. It's more of an outdoorsy kind of folder to me more than anything. And that brings us to Lockup here, which is a liner lock, hitting pretty early, which is good. This has full stainless steel liners. That liner lock has some jimping on it, very easy to access. Everything's got that black oxide coating. Looks pretty good in contrast with this green color. But this knife does feature the LAWKS mechanism, which is this little lever here. And that was kind of another selling point for me. It was 20 bucks. Oh, it's got that LAWKS feature. I don't have that yet. And what that is, it's LAWKS. It inserts a little pin. You can see it barely moving there in between the liner and the handle material. So you can't close the liner. No matter how hard to press, I'm not going to compress that metal enough to make the liner close. And then you flick it down to move your liner, and then you're good to go. So it's just a double safety feature. They do have the auto locks, which, if you have an assisted blade or something, this will move over as soon as the blade's locked up, so you need to pull that down and depress the liner. I like the manual locks feature a little bit more. You can choose to use it or not. So it's a cool feature. I don't know if it's absolutely necessary, but I like it. And that brings us to just the handle material, which is just this injection molded plastic. There's no texturing to it at all. It's very smooth. CRKT and the logo are written right here. I got the OD green coloration. They do have it in kind of a desert tan, a black. These blades come with serrations and a little bit different coatings. So lots of options here for a very budget-oriented knife. You'd think the ergonomics wouldn't be very good or the grip level on this knife, but the ergonomics are superb. Your hand fits right where it wants to. There's a thumb ramp with some, okay jimping with that LAWKS feature kind of doubling as your thumb ramp. And you get a very secure grip on a big knife. It's so big, in fact, that it's a little bit hard to get a reverse grip on it. You know, and I'm 6'4", I got bigger hands, and this thing fits my hands perfect. So if you guys are bigger guys or just want a bigger knife to carry around, you know, you don't have to look any further if you're looking to spend 20 bucks. So the ergonomics are probably the best feature of this knife. And the whole thing's fairly thick because you got full stainless steel liners, the plastic, and then a full plastic back spacer. Centering is actually really good. Sorry guys, bumped the camera there. If you can see that, centering is really good. So why am I getting rid of this knife? I kind of alluded to it. It doesn't fit my lifestyle. It's a little bit too heavy, a little bit too big. It was an impulse buy that I'm going to get rid of. And the main thing is this pocket clip right here. It is one position and it is tipped down. I cannot for the life of me figure out why knife makers make tip down only knives. It's so weird. They know that most people who carry knives carry them tip up. I do. Everybody else does, it seems like. And it's just a weird feature on such a big knife. It makes it very awkward to pull out of your pocket and then deploy with that little wrist flick. And then if you have that activated, it just makes the whole thing very strenuous to use. But I do like this knife in its ability when it's open. You know, I think it'd be a great kind of backpacking folder if you wanted something fairly heavy duty but didn't want to lug around a fixed blade. You know, the pocket clip has some good detention into your pants. So I think this thing is a fairly hard to use folder. It's definitely not a virtual fixed blade as CRKT will tell you the LAWKS feature offers, but it's strong. It's, you know, it might not be triad lock strong, but it's strong. You got a little lanyard hole, almost forgot to mention here. So I don't really recommend this knife unless you guys are active outdoorsmen and you don't want to carry a fixed blade. If you want something strong that's in your pockets, that's on a budget, that's the main emphasis here. I think this CRKT Crawford Kasper Folder, it's a mouthful, is a good option for you. You can get your color you want, and you got a lot of blade to use, and it's just great ergonomics when you're using it. So as always guys, thanks for watching. Sorry I took a little bit of time off. You were waiting for more videos. I got discussions coming up, more knife reviews. So stay tuned and make sure to like and subscribe.